Hello everyone. I'm so glad you've returned to my channel. How is everyone today? For me, today is a bittersweet day. It's the kind of day when everything feels like it's on the brink of collapse, yet there's an undeniable glimmer of hope shining through. Our orphan girl, whose resilience has been tested time and time again, faces yet another heartbreaking challenge. All of her efforts, all the dreams she has clung to, seem to be slipping away. But what will CEO James do? That's the question on everyone's mind. Let's find out. A morning of tenderness and hope. As the first light of dawn stretched gently across the horizon, bathing the earth in a soft, golden glow, Ted Dip woke up early to prepare for a new day. The sky was still a deep blue, with the sun's rays timidly reaching over distant hills. Beside her, little Nee stirred in her sleep. The girl, still wrapped in the warmth of dreams, rubbed her sleepy eyes before eagerly grasping her aunt's hand, ready to face the day. Together, they began their morning ritual, preparing a small basket for the day ahead. The basket was filled with papaya salad, a beloved recipe from the previous evening. Each bowl was a burst of fresh lime, herbs, and the perfect touch of chili, a simple dish crafted with love and care, all for the little girl who meant the world to her aunt. The road leading to the village market was quiet, save for the chirping birds and the gentle rustling of leaves. Dew clung to the grass like tiny diamonds, shimmering under the morning light. Little Nee, her hand nestled in her aunt's, skipped happily along the path, her excitement palpable. There was something magical about selling food with Aunt Dip, something that made her heart flutter with joy. By the time they reached the market, it was already bustling with life. Stalls brimming with vegetables, fresh fish, and local delicacies lined the paths. The air was alive with the chatter of vendors, each competing to catch the attention of passing customers. Dip found a small patch of earth by the side of the road, where she spread out a white cloth and neatly arranged their papaya salads. The orange hue of the carrots, the vibrant green of the papaya, the crunch of peanuts, and the splash of red chili, everything looked so inviting in the soft morning light. Little Nee stood beside her, beaming with pride. It didn't take long for curious passers-by to stop and taste the fresh salad. Some bought just one cup for breakfast, while others bought several to take home. Compliments flew, and one man laughed, saying, "This salad would be perfect with some rice crackers." Hearing that, Little Nee whispered excitedly to Aunt Dip, "They really love what we made." Dip's smile, full of warmth and satisfaction, spoke volumes. In no time, they had sold every cup of salad. Aunt Dip packed up the remaining bags, while Little Nee carefully counted the bills they'd earned. Her small face shone with the purest joy, as though she had experienced something truly magical. Hand in hand, they left the market, their steps light and happy, their hearts full. On the way home, little Nee couldn't stop talking about how quickly everything had sold, how she wanted to make more tomorrow, and how all the customers had smiled and praised their work. Aunt Dip listened, her heart swelling with love as she squeezed her niece's hand. Despite the hardships life often brought, seeing little Nee so happy gave her the strength to face it all. James's determination. That afternoon, James sat in his living room, a determined look on his face. After days of worrying about how to help Dip and little Nee secure a stable, legal home, he had finally made a decision. It was time to call his lawyer. James wanted everything about the adoption process to be clear, transparent, and, above all, seamless. He longed for the day when Dip and little Nee could rest easy, knowing that they were legally bound together as family. When the doorbell rang, James stood quickly, eager to meet the lawyer. The man, composed and professional in his neat suit, exuded both authority and warmth. After a quick exchange of pleasantries, James wasted no time in explaining Dip's situation, the sacrifices she had made, how she had raised little Nee with all her heart, yet lacked the legal recognition to be her guardian. The lawyer listened intently, flipping through his folder, and then began to explain the adoption process in detail. He reassured James that, contrary to what he might have feared, the adoption of an orphan or a child without direct parental care was not as complicated as it seemed. What mattered most was proof of the relationship, evidence of financial stability, and a confirmation letter from local authorities. He assured James that for Dip, the process would be much simpler, as she had already been little Nee's primary caregiver for years. James's face lit up with hope. He asked questions, wanting to understand every single step of the process. The lawyer was patient and thorough, even handing him a checklist of documents needed: little Nee's birth certificate, the adoption application, financial papers, and Dip's marital status. It was all clear, concise, and less daunting than James had imagined. After an hour of discussion, James felt an enormous weight lifted from his shoulders. Standing, he shook the lawyer's hand firmly, a smile of relief spreading across his face. The handshake was more than just a formality, it was a silent promise that Dip would soon be little Nee's legal mother. Breaking the good news. Unable to contain his excitement, James immediately dialed Dip's number. When she answered, he could hardly hold back his joy. "Dip, I have great news," he exclaimed. I just spoke with the lawyer, and the process to adopt little Nee is actually very straightforward. You just need a few documents, and everything looks positive. You're going to be her legal mom soon. On the other end of the line, there was a pause. Then Dip's voice, trembling with emotion, broke through. Really? Does that mean we won't have to live in uncertainty anymore? James chuckled warmly, his voice full of reassurance. Yes, I promise you. I'll help with all the paperwork. Soon, you and little Nee will have a peaceful, secure life together. In that moment, James felt a sense of fulfillment deeper than he had ever known. It wasn't just about helping Dip and little Nee, it was about becoming their protector, ensuring they would have a home and a family for as long as they needed. A simple joy, shopping, painting, and new beginnings. That morning, Dip had planned a small treat for little Nee. After a week of hard work at the market, she wanted to give her niece something special, something simple yet filled with meaning. They walked hand in hand to a local store, a small shop filled with backpacks, shoes, clothes, and toys. Little Nee's eyes sparkled as she gazed around in awe. She ran her small fingers over the soft straps of a pink backpack, its cute rabbit design making her smile. Do you like it? Dip asked softly, her heart swelling with warmth. Without hesitation, little Nee nodded, her face lighting up with the purest happiness. Next, they picked out sandals, bright red, white, and even a pair of tiny sneakers with flowers. In the end, they chose a pair of cream-colored sandals, perfect for the summer days ahead. After trying on clothes, they bought a sweet white dress with red flowers, along with some school tops and trousers. But the day didn't end there. As they walked down the street, little Nee's gaze fell on a small cafe with shelves of plaster figurines and paint sets for children. Without thinking, she tugged at Dip's sleeve. Can we go paint one together? Laughing, Dip agreed, and they entered the cafe. The shop owner brought out a basket filled with little white figurines, rabbits, bears, ducks, and cups of colorful paint. Little Nee chose a rabbit, of course, and Dip selected a bear. The two sat down together, side by side, painting with joy as the sunlight filtered through the windows, casting a golden glow on their faces. Little Nee's tiny hands painted with great care, occasionally looking up to ask, "Is this okay, Auntie? Does it look nice?" Dip smiled and reassured her, "It's beautiful, sweetheart." Just keep painting however you like. A family united by love. Later, as they strolled home, their shopping bags in hand, they spotted a familiar black car parked at the side of the road. James had arrived. The moment little Nee spotted him, her face lit up with joy, and she ran to him, shouting, "Uncle James! Uncle James!" James knelt down to lift her into his arms, spinning her around as she laughed, her small arms wrapping around his neck. His heart swelled with happiness, and Dip watched the scene from a distance, her heart full of gratitude. See? James smiled at Dip, his voice soft. She loves me already. The moment was perfect, peaceful, serene, and full of the kind of happiness that only comes when a family is bound together by love, trust, and a shared dream of belonging. They weren't bound by blood, but by something far more profound, the bonds of love, kindness, and a promise to never let go.